Hey friend, a quick update for you. My website is officially live. I'm so excited. You can check it out at reneematt.com. And my name is spelled a little bit different, so people get hung up on it sometimes, but it's Renae. And I'll make sure the link is in the show notes in case you need to just click that and get to the website. But this website is where you're going to find all the things that I talk about here on the podcast. Plus, I've officially opened the wait list for my upcoming course. So, if you've been wanting some extra support to finally get those 5 foundational routines working for real life, you'll definitely want to get on that list so that you are the first to know when doors open. The new website is going to be your go to spot to learn more about me, check out those resources I mentioned on the podcast, and get that support if you're ready to create routines and systems that actually work for real life. So when you're done listening, head to reneematt.com, take a look around, pop your name on that wait list. I cannot wait for you to see it. Do you ever find yourself feeling so busy that you can hardly think straight? Like you have so many thoughts in your head that you just need to write it all down and do a full brain dump just so you can stop thinking about it all. A lot of times when we are busy and overwhelmed, we feel this way, yet we don't actually take the time to sit down and do that brain dump and write it all out because we're too busy. So it's an endless cycle that we need to stop. And unless we make the time to do something different, nothing is going to change. But when we prioritize the time to stop and ask ourselves the right questions, we can begin to recognize where we need to start making those changes. And when we start making those changes, we can stop feeling overwhelmed and start feeling more relaxed and more prepared. So, today I have 4 questions for you to stop and ask yourself anytime you are feeling too busy or overwhelmed. Are you ready to stop the chaos, the stress, the overwhelm that's filling your life? I'm Renee Matt, and together you and I are going to build simple routines that are going to change your life. When you put these habits into practice, you're going to be able to organize your life in a way where you can be there for your family, pay off your debt, save money, your house can stay organized, you don't have to stress about what's for dinner, and you still get time for yourself. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome to the Routine Advantage Podcast. Now, these questions that I'm going to go over today are actually questions that I think you could do by just thinking about them if you're busy, or if you're driving or washing dishes or whatever it is you're doing. But I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to take some time, even if you don't feel like you have it. Take some time to actually sit down and write down your answers because you're going to feel much different and it's going to hit you a lot differently when you can actually get it out onto paper and see your answers. And if you're doing it in a journal that you can kind of hold on to, it's really interesting. I was actually looking back at my journal this morning before I was doing this recording, and it was so interesting to see how I was feeling a couple of years ago because I was journaling and asking myself kind of some of these questions that I'm going to share with you today. But I was asking them, and the answers that I had made so much sense into how I have changed over the years and what I have put into place to help me with the struggles I had at that time. And looking at it, it's like I kind of forgot how overwhelmed I was feeling, but seeing it on paper made me realize how far I have come because I have started putting more routines and habits into place to help resolve the issues that I was feeling years ago. And now I can still resonate with that, but it's not part of my life right now. Like, yes, there are still days where I get overwhelmed or I still feel like I'm getting stressed out, but now I know what I need to do to overcome that feeling and to kind of reset my life in that area because I have built the systems into my life to help me that I know work for me. And looking back at those journal entries today before I started recording was incredibly interesting. And I realized how far I truly have come and how helpful journaling was to get me to where I am today. So I really think that you should take time to sit down and actually write out your answers. And if you have a journal or a nice notebook that you can use as a journal, I would highly recommend that you do that and start doing this process, especially anytime you're feeling overwhelmed. Just go back to these 4 questions and you might be surprised as to how like your answers change over time. So when you're ready with your pen and paper, I will give you the 4 questions and then I'm going to give you a couple of examples to help you with this if you're not really sure how to answer them. But if you can, answer them on your own first before you take my examples because then you can see kind of what comes from your heart and not what I recommend, and then you're kind of stuck on that. So, this is a good thing to do and answer first on your own. And then, if you need some help to kind of dive a little deeper, then you can kind of look at the examples. So, here are your 4 questions. Number one, what area of my life is feeling overwhelming to me right now and why? Question number 2, what is holding me back from making progress in this area? And question number 3, what simple habit or routine could I set up to help with this and why would it help? And question number 4 is what would be the benefit of me sticking with this simple habit or routine? So, when you finish answering those, then I would like you to kind of think about these other examples to see if you really dive as deep as you want, and then go back and add some kind of more context to your answers to really get down how you're really feeling in these areas so that you can see what would actually help you. And when you're looking at simple habits or routines to put into place, keep them very simple because that's what's going to help you actually make progress and build the consistency. Because if you do too big of a goal or too big of a commitment in this area, then that alone is going to feel overwhelming. So we really want to keep it super simple so that we can actually make progress and get ourselves out of the overwhelm and the stress and the busyness that we're feeling suppressed by. So for the examples, I have 2 different examples. One for an example of being just completely overwhelmed with dinner, and then one just of the busyness of life. So, the first one we're going to cover is dinner. So, for question number 1, what area of my life is feeling overwhelming to me right now and why? You might say, I'm feeling overwhelmed and behind on everything and can't keep up, especially when it comes to making dinner. It's just too much to deal with and it frustrates me at the end of a long day. And then question number 2, what is holding me back from making progress in this area? So you might respond to this one by saying, I don't have a plan in place for dinner, so I get to each night and need to decide what to make when I'm already tired, my family is hungry, and we don't seem to have enough ingredients on hand for anything quick, and it's frustrating. And then question number 3, what simple habit or routine could I set up to help with this and why? So, this answer could be I could schedule an hour of time on Saturday mornings to create a meal plan for the entire next week and schedule a grocery pickup for Monday morning. This would help me because it would actually save time and stress throughout the week by carving out just an hour to plan ahead. And then the final question, question number 4, what would be the benefit of me sticking with this simple habit or routine? And your answer could be I would feel prepared each week so I wouldn't feel so stressed every night. Dinner time would go quicker because I wouldn't be wasting my time trying to figure out what to do. And my relationship with my family would improve because I wouldn't be so frustrated and I wouldn't be snapping at them because I'm in a bad mood, frustrated over dinner. So that's just an example of what you might find when you're feeling so overwhelmed with dinner, but you might not even realize that dinner is the issue. You just feel overwhelmed overall. So when you sit down to actually write it out, you might be realizing, like, okay, dinner is the issue. That's what's really getting to me. And then really diving into why, what could help this, and why would it help? Because having that why is going to help you stay committed to that simple habit or routine because you can do it. And when you're looking at what you could set up, look at the time frame. Like in this example, I said schedule an hour on Saturday mornings to pick up on Monday mornings. So that's giving you some structure of when to actually schedule and plan for this so that you can build that into your day or into your week and make progress with it. So it'll be easier to stick to. It's not just some idea, but this gives you some tangible time frames to actually put it into place so that it can be helpful. So your other example here is like just busyness. So number one, what area of my life is feeling overwhelming and why? You could say, my schedule is making me feel overwhelmed because there's just too much going on in my life. So, question number two, what is holding me back from making progress in this area? I like to please people and have a hard time saying no, so I tend to take on too much and it's stressful. Question number three, what simple habit or routine could I set up to help with this and why? I could commit to planning out my week on Sunday nights and creating time blocks to make sure that everything is that is important to me and my family come first and that I have prioritized my time before I say yes to others. And then question number four, what would be the benefit of me sticking with this simple habit or routine? It would allow me to see where I have free space to take on more when people ask. And if I don't have time available, it will give me more confidence to say no so that I don't overbook myself. So you can kind of see how this can really change based on what your feeling is causing the overwhelm in your life. So your answers will be different, but you can see how you can really dive into the kind of root of what is actually the issue and have a solution of how to get out of it. So this is where I want you to really think about sitting down with that pen and paper and journal and really writing out your answers because you're going to have a different perspective than just thinking about it in your head. And there's something about getting it onto paper and getting it out of your head that does truly help. It's a very therapeutic feeling when you're doing this. So even if you don't feel like you're a journaler, I strongly encourage you to take some time to just write down your answers for this and be as descriptive as possible. Don't just write down a quick one word answer. Try to create a longer, more descriptive answer because you're going to end up diving a little bit more into it when you write more. So just challenge yourself to do that and see what comes out, see what changes you can make to actually help move you out of this feeling of overwhelm and busyness and see what happens. So I'll quickly recap those four questions for you so that they are in order and you can jot those down and write them down if you haven't already. So here they are. Number one, what area in my life is feeling overwhelming to me right now and why? Number two, what is holding me back from making progress in this area? Number three, what simple habit or routine could I set up to help with this and why? And finally, number four, what would be the benefit of me sticking with this simple habit or routine? Did you love that episode or learn something useful? If so, would you do me a huge favor? My goal is to grow this podcast and help as many women as I can break free from the overwhelm so they can truly enjoy their life. The best way for me to do this is for you to leave a 5-star written review on your podcast app and to share this episode with a friend or in your Instagram stories. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you on the next episode. Take care.